Hey guys, welcome to episode 5 of Ask Grant. I'm your host Grant. I'm going to try to answer 4 questions today, so let's jump right into it. First question comes from Brandon Baker from Facebook, and Brandon Baker asked, paper or plastic? And of course this is referring to, when you're getting in the checkout and paying for your stuff at the store, and they say, hey, paper or plastic, which I haven't been asked in a long time. I think you normally have to ask for paper if you don't want plastic, so it's sort of default option, unless you're in one of the cities that may have banned it, or places like Whole Foods, which have switched to paper bags exclusively. So normally this question, paper or plastic, is framed as an ecological question, which refers to sort of the materials. Paper bags tend to decompose a lot faster. I don't know what the rate is. Something like probably a couple of months to maybe a year, versus plastic bags, the ubiquitous plastic bags, which some scientists estimate between 500 and 1,000 years to biodegrade. Plastic's only been around for like 50 or so years, so we don't really know how long it takes to biodegrade, but that's sort of the estimate, 500 to 1,000. So in that, it's like, okay, well, if you care about the environment, that's an easy choice, right? Well, according to a webpage I found, I think it was called 10 Myths About Plastic Bags from plasticindustry.org. I'm not kidding. I'll put the link in the description on YouTube. But it says, something along the lines of, well, plastic bags are recyclable, and, when you put a paper bag or something like that in a landfill, because of the sort of environment that the landfill is set up to do, things don't really biodegrade in the same way you expect sort of in nature. Like if you, tossed a paper bag in your backyard, it would biodegrade a lot faster than actually out in the landfill. And some people have even tried to like dig up samples from landfills and found newspapers from the 60s still intact. So, on one hand it seems clear, on the other hand maybe it's not so clear. So what are the options? Well, another player has entered the arena. The best option is reusable shopping bags, these cloth bags that you can get usually at the checkout next to the checkout at your favorite grocery store or wherever you're shopping. They usually have these cloth bags, which are reusable bags, usually about $1, something like that. And I tend to favor those, although if you're an asshole like me, you always leave them in the car or at home, and so they're pretty much useless with plastic bags anyway. So, paper or plastic, my answer, I guess, if those two choices, paper. If not, I'd rather use the cloth bags. Okay, next question comes from a person on YouTube. I believe this person is maybe Hawaiian. I think the name is Yolanohomo, so I'm not sure how to pronounce that. But that person asks, what line of work are you in? And maybe you do something interesting and you can share your knowledge on YouTube. Well, I'm in IT, information technology, which is not too different from this channel in that people ask me questions and I Google the answer and then summarize it for them. At least that's how it was in the beginning part of my career, where I was doing more help desk and desktop operations and things like that. And now I'm more on the server back end, setting up, all the networks and virtual machines and all that sort of stuff that makes the internet go around. So that's what I do, and it's pretty fun, pretty interesting. I like solving problems, but it sort of gets old after a while. So that's what I do. All right, next question comes from Sean from Facebook, and Sean asks, can you draw a picture of a monkey with a bow and arrow? Maybe the monkey is hunting rabbits or something. No, I can't draw very well, so I outsourced it, and here are some pictures that my kids drew. Our resident artist, my oldest daughter, decided she wasn't going to participate and just was kind of like, bruh, nah. So here's some pictures from my younger kids. Here's Isaac's picture, and here's Jake's picture. So, yeah, I can't draw very well, so I gave it a shot. I mean, I looked at like some pictures on YouTube, on Google image search, and I was like trying to copy it, but it was a no-go. So, no, I can't do that. All right, our last question comes from Attacked by a Lion on YouTube. And full disclosure, this is just a prop. There's nothing on here. I'm reading from my screen that's next to the camera, so I'm just going to read directly from it. Your first video is 42 seconds long. Did you plan that out? If not, what do you think is the significance of it just happening to be 42 seconds long, and how might that affect you in the long run? Do you believe in fate, and do you think that has something to do with it? Well, that's a bunch of questions, and some of those questions are outside of the scope of a short video like this, and maybe we'll revisit it sometime, but I'll try to do my best to at least give you a little bit of an answer. Your first video is 42 seconds long. Well, that's actually debatable because when I look at it on YouTube, in my console it says 43 seconds long. But some views do show it as 42 seconds long. So, did you plan that out? No, I didn't plan that out. It just happened to be 42 seconds long. Oddly enough, it's a coincidence. If not, what do you think is the significance of it just happening to be 42 seconds long, and how might that affect you in the long run? So for those of you who may not know, 42 is a significant nerd number because in Douglas Adams' book, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, 42 is the answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything. What is that question that it's answering? Well, you got to read the book. It's a great book, and I highly recommend it. So what do I think is the significance of it just happening to be 42 seconds long, and how might that affect me in the long run? I think it's pretty insignificant. I don't put a lot of stock into it. I used to put a lot of, interest and energy into like looking at numbers and seeing how, I think there's sort of underlying patterns and stuff like that. I'm not sure if I believe that anymore, but it is still kind of fun and interesting. I'm glad that my video is 42 seconds long, so I don't think it'll affect me in the long run. Do you believe in fate, and do you think it has something to do with it? So I'm kind of in between belief systems at the moment, and I think that's the part of the question that's out of the scope of this short video, so we may visit that at another time, but right now I'll say that I'm not sure if I believe in fate. So, and do I think that has something to do with it? No, I don't. I don't think that has anything to do with it. And that's about it. I mean, I guess, I've answered 4 questions. There's nothing, this is my kids' school calendar. There's nothing here. I'm just using it as a prop. But, it's helpful. So that's it. That's the show for today. And I'll see you next time. As always, you can ask me questions on Tumblr. You can even ask anonymously. You can ask on Facebook. You can email me the questions. I'm on Twitter. I don't really go on there very much, but you can, if that's your platform of choice. You can ask me questions there. I don't think I'm going to keep updating the MySpace because every time I go there I just feel like old and weird. So, yeah, just use the other things. But anyway, bye.